Okay, so good day everyone. Welcome to JECMAN. So this is my part 2 ng discussion ko before on plane trigonometry. So last time, diniscuss ko yung about sa right triangle word problems na gumagamit tayo doon ng SOHCAHTOA. Now, as discussed last time, yung SOHCAHTOA, gagamitin lang natin siya kapag meron tayong right triangle case. Pero kapag meron na tayong oblique triangle, so ang ibig sabihin nun, wala ka ng angle which is equal to 90 degrees. Ang ginagamit na natin dyan is the law of sines or the law of cosines, or minsan tinatawag din natin na sine law or cosine law. So yung dalawang formulas na to, ito yung ginagamit natin for an oblique triangle. Now, if we will look at the sine law, ganito yung general equation niya. So you have A over sine A is equal to B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. So basically, hindi nyo naman lahat gagamitin itong tatlo na to sa isang word problem. Ang sinasabi lang ng sine law is that yung side mo, yung ratio ng side, doon sa sine ng iyong angle na opposite doon sa side mo is constant. So it's constant for all cases ng sides mo at saka angles. Okay, sa loob ng isang oblique triangle. Now remember yung mga letters na yan, pwede yung mabago. So ang kailangan nyo lang tandaan sa formula ng sine law is yung format niya. Basta ang format niya parate is isusulat nyo muna yung side over the sine nung angle na opposite dun sa side mo. Now ang sine law natin, meron tayong two cases kung kailan nyo pwede itong gamitin. So let's first discuss the first case. So ang sabi dyan, when the lengths of two sides and the angle opposite one of the two sides are known. So ito yung first case kung kailan tayo gagamit ng sine law. So kung meron tayo rito oblique triangle, so let's say this one, let's say this is your triangle ABC. Then this is your side A kasi opposite siya ng angle A. Then ito ang side B kasi opposite siya ng angle B. And then ito yung side C kasi opposite siya ng angle C. Now para hindi kayo malito, ang ginagamit natin parate na pinaka-format sa mga symbols is that capital letter po ang ginagamit natin whenever we are referring to the angle. And we're using a small letter, okay, or lowercase letter to represent the sides. Now remember na ang angle mo at saka yung opposite side, dapat parehas lang ng letters yan ang gagamitin natin. Okay? Kasi katulad nga nabanggit ko kanina, you can use any letter that you want kapag nagre-represent na kayo ng, sa mga drawings natin ng oblique triangle case. Now, ang sinasabi dito is kapag given ka ng two sides. For example, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say, given ka ng side C at saka ng side A. Dapat yung angle na given na isa is dapat opposite sa either of the two. Pwedeng ibig sabihin ito, ang given mo na angle, pwedeng itong angle A kasi opposite siya ng side A. Or pwede rin naman na angle C kasi opposite siya ng side C. Okay? So ulitin ko, it has to be two sides and then yung angle na given na isa is dapat opposite dun sa kahit anong side na given. Now let me give you another scenario. So let me just change the ink of my slide. Okay, so for instance naman, let's say given ka ng side B at saka side C. So kung given ka ng side B at side C, dapat ang given mo na angle ay pwedeng itong angle B kasi opposite siya ng side B. Or pwede rin naman na angle C kasi opposite siya ng side C. Okay, so ganun po yung ginagawa natin na distinction para kung kailan natin gagamitin ang sine law. So ulitin ko, kapag sine law, ang pinag-uusapan lang parati dito is dapat yung given mo na side at yung given mo ng angle is magka-opposite sila. Okay, magkatapatan sila. So this is for the first case. So kindly get a screenshot first of this one before I proceed to the second case. So now let's proceed to the second case. Sa second case naman natin, says here na when two angles and the length of the side opposite one of the two angles are known. So kanina ang given natin is dalawang side at isang angle. So ngayon naman meron kang two angles and one side. So for example, again, kung babalik tayo dun sa ating triangle na ABC. Okay, let's say this is your triangle ABC. This is side A, side B, and side C. So let's say given ka ng angle B and angle C. Dapat yung given na side mo is either ito, yung side B, or side C. Okay, so again, dapat yung side na given na isa is opposite sa kahit alin man dun sa given natin na angles. Okay, so let me show you another example. Okay, so let's have another example here. So let's just say, kunwari given ka ng angle A and meron kang angle B. Okay, so dapat ang given na side natin, it's either ito, side A, or side B. Okay, kasi itong side A is opposite sa angle A and itong side B is opposite sa angle B. Okay, so ganun po yung pagkuha natin paggamit natin ng sine law. So again, yung first case natin is when you have two sides and one angle. Sa case naman, you can have two angles and one side. Basta ang mahalaga, magkakatapatan sila. Okay, so kindly get a screenshot of this one first before I proceed to my first example dun sa ating pagsosolve ng oblique triangle problems. Okay, so kung tapos na po tayo mag-screenshot, let's move on to our first example. So an overhead crane is suspended from a ceiling by two chains. So one chain is 4.6 meters long and forms an angle of 60 degrees with the ceiling. The other chain is 6.4 meters long. So what angle does the larger chain make with the ceiling? Okay, so always ang gagawin natin is i-drawing muna natin or interpret muna natin yung ating problem. Now, hindi kasi sa lahat ng cases, ng mga problems is meron na siyang provided na drawing. So sometimes wala, so kailangan tayo talaga yung mag-interpret. So kung i-interpret natin itong problem na to, okay, so let me show you how it's done. So sabi dyan, meron tayong overhead crane that is suspended from a ceiling. So assume natin na itong straight line na to, this one represents your ceiling. And then let's say itong box na to represents your overhead crane. And sabi dyan, it is attached to the ceiling by two chains. So assuming that this is your first chain, this is your second chain. Now it says here, one chain is 4.6 meters long. So kung assume natin na ito ang first chain natin, this one daw is 4.6 meters. And sabi dito, it forms an angle of 60 degrees with the ceiling. So ito yung ceiling, ito po yung chain, ito po yung angle na 60 degrees. Then the other chain is 6.4 meters long. Yan. So ito yung second chain natin. The question is, what angle does the larger chain make with the ceiling? So ito yung larger chain natin, ito yung ceiling. So ano daw po itong angle na to? Okay? So ngayon na meron na tayong sketch, ang next step na gagawin natin is i-take out natin yung ating oblique triangle. Okay? So yung oblique triangle natin, magiging ganito po yung itsura niya. Okay, so ito yung 60. Ito yung unknown angle. Ito yung 6.4 meters. And ito yung 4.6 meters. Okay, so pwede tayo dito maglagay ng label. Like what I've said, you can use any letter that you want. Okay, so assume lang natin na let's say ang gagamitin ko is A, B, and C. So itong 6.4 meters is katapat ng angle A. So therefore, I will call this as my side A. And itong 4.6 is katapat ng angle B. So that means this is my side B. Yan. Now, based ito sa problem, no? Tingnan natin yung given natin. So given ka ng dalawang sides. And ang given na angle is ito, angle A. So which is opposite dito sa isang side natin, which is angle A. So which is side A. So that means pwede natin dito gamitin ang sine law. Kasi di ba, nabanggit ko kanina, dapat ang given mo is yung isang pair ng angle and ng side should be opposite to each other. Okay, so para magamit natin ang sine law. Okay, so kung isusulat natin yung formula natin, it would look like this. So tatandaan nyo, unahin nyo muna yung side over dun sa sine ng angle na opposite dun sa side. So in this case, it's A. Okay, so next one naman, so this one na is equal to, so doon naman tayo sa B. So you have side B over your angle na which is sine of B. Yan, so yan po yung ating standard formula. Now, ang hinahanap natin dito is angle B. Okay, so para ma-solve natin yung angle B, katulad ng natutunan natin sa linear equations in one variable, i-cross multiply muna po natin sila. So this is now equal to A sine B is equal to B sine A. Yan. So to solve for the value of sine B, di-divide muna natin both sides of the equation by A. So makakancel na yung A natin dito. So mangyayari, you have sine B is equal to B sine A over A. Now, ang tinahanap kasi natin is the angle. So katulad na nabanggit ko before, kapag ang hinahanap natin is angle, gumagamit tayo ng inverse function. So mangyayari dito, nagiging B is equal to, kukunin natin yung inverse sine, okay, ito na inverse function, nitong buong expression na to, yung B sine A over A. So kung mapapansin nyo, nagsisimula muna ako sa formula kasi mas madaling na process yung i-derive muna natin yung formula before tayo mag-substitute. Okay, so now na ito na yung formula natin, substitute lang natin yung values natin. Okay, so this is now B is equal to inverse sine of, okay, so ang value po ng B natin is 4.6 meters times sine A, ang A natin is 60 degrees over, to yung value ng side A, so this is 6.4 meters. Yan. So, paano po natin to i-input sa calculator? So, let me show you how it's done. Okay, so sa calculator, ganito po siya. Unahin niyo muna yung angle kung gagamit kayo ng calculator sa laptop. So, this is 60, and then go to trigonometry, press sine, then times 4.6, then press equals. Okay, then before kayo mag-divide sa 6.4, then press equals again. Yan. So now that you have this value, now go to trigonometry. Click nyo yung second, okay, for the second function para makuha nyo yung inverse. Yan. So, okay, so then click natin yung inverse sign. Yan. So, nakukuha natin dito is this value. So, it's a decimal. May marami siyang decimal. So, i-round off na lang natin siya to the nearest whole number. So, therefore, the answer to this one is 38 degrees. Yan. So, that means yung angle that the larger chain mixed with the ceiling is equal to 38 degrees. Okay, so kindly get a screenshot of this one for your reference. Kung meron kayong mga further questions, since this one is a recording, hindi kasi ako nakapag-record ng live class, you can send me a PM na lang over Facebook and you can take a screenshot of this para kung nandito yung question nyo, I can easily refer to what your question is. Okay, so when you're done with the screenshot, let's have the next example. So John and Dennis are standing at the seashore 10 miles apart. The coastline is a straight line between them. Both can see the same ship in the water. So the angle between the coastline and the line between the ship and John is 35 degrees. The angle between the coastline and the ship and the line between the ship and Dennis is 45 degrees. So how far is the ship from John? Okay, so again, katulad ng ginawa natin din sa una, kukunin muna natin yung kanyang diagram. Okay, so I will just use letter J and letter D to represent the position of John and Dennis. So if this is my point J, nandito si John, and ito si point D, kasi nandito si Dennis. Kaya sabi dyan, they are standing at the seashore, 10 miles apart. So ito po yung distance nilang dalawa. So meron tayo ditong 10 miles. Now, the coastline is a straight line between them. So, assuming that this is your coastline. So, both can see the same ship in the water. So, meron tayo ditong ship sa water. So, kung ito yung area ng water, so assume natin that this is point S, okay, where the ship is. So, the angle between the coastline, ito yung coastline, and the line between the ship and John. So, ito si John, ito yung ship. So, yung line daw nila, yung angle na daw na to is equal to 35 degrees. And then the angle between the coastline, so ito ating coastline, and the line between the ship and Venice. So ito yung line between the ship and Venice is 45 degrees. Yan. So the question is, how far is the ship from John? So ito si John, ito yung ship. So ito yung hinahanap natin na distance. Okay, so yan po yung hinahanap sa problem. So based on this triangle, okay, so let's try to simplify this, ano. So drawing lang natin siya ulit. So this is your angle S, this is your angle J, this is angle D. So this one is 35 degrees, this is 45. And then kung ililabel natin yung mga parts, ito we can consider this as side S kasi opposite siya ng angle S. So this is 10 miles. And then this one here will be your side D kasi opposite siya ng angle D. So this is the unknown. And then this one on the other side is your side J, which is in this problem, hindi naman siya kailangan hanapin. So kailangan natin hanapin is angle is side D. Now, if you will look at this, given ka nga ng dalawang angle, kaya lang yung side na given mo is hindi opposite dito sa dalawang angle. So, paano natin masosolve tong D? Okay, so, para magawa yon, remember na sa loob ng isang triangle, ang sum ng lahat ng angles natin is equal to 180 degrees. So, kahit anong klase pang triangle yan. Whether that's a right triangle or oblique triangle, isosceles or equilateral, lahat yan kapag inad nyo yung angle sa loob ng isang triangle is always equal to 180 degrees. So, pwede natin gawin dito, itong J plus S plus D, this one daw, pag inad natin is equal to 180. So, therefore, para masolve natin yung angle S, pwede natin itong masolve eh. Okay? So, this one now is equal to 180 degrees minus yung sum ng ating dalawang angle. Yung J at saka yung D. So if we will substitute this now, we have 180 minus J natin is 35. And then you have D is 45 degrees. So this is 180 degrees minus 80 degrees. So therefore, ang value ng S natin is 100 degrees. So ito po yung ating angle S. Now as you notice, no, meron ka ng angle tsaka side na magkatapatan. So therefore, pwede na natin gamitin ng ating sine law. Ulitin ko, yung sine law ginagamit natin kapag meron ka magkatapatan na pair. So dapat magkatapat ang angle mo at saka yung iyong side. So kung gagawa natin to ng equation, okay, para ma-solve natin yung value ng D, so ganito magiging equation natin. So you have D over sine D. Okay, this is equal to side S over sine S. Okay? So remember the pattern. The side first over the sine nung ating angle na opposite doon sa ating side. So if we're solving for D, again, cross-multiply muna po tayo. So this is D sine S. This is equal to S sine D. So para ma-solve natin ang value ng D, di-divide natin both sides of the equation by sine S. Yan. So makakancel ngayon po to, yung sine S. Kaya ang D natin na magiging formula is S sine D over sine S. So substitute lang po natin. So ang value ng S natin is 10 miles. Ang value ng D natin for sine D, so you have 45 degrees. Over yung ating sine S. Ang S natin is 100 degrees. Okay, now, so let me show you kung paano to gagawin sa ating calculator. Okay, so kung sa calculator po, ganito po siya. Okay, so this is now, okay, again, 45 muna tayo. Then, dun tayo sa trigonometry. Okay, so you press your sign, then times 10. Okay, press equals. Then, tsaka natin siya i-divide sa 100. And then you go to sign. Press equals again. Yeah. So, meron tayong 7.18 something. So, i-round up ko na lang to the nearest whole number. So, therefore, this one is 7 miles. Yeah. So, ganyan po yung paraan po natin ng pagsusot. Okay? So, I hope this one is very clear to you. So, kung meron po tayong again, mga questions kung paano ito nagawa, you can send me a message directly via Facebook. Okay? So, yan po. Again, ang ginawa natin strategy is to always start with your sketch, and then after that, kukunin natin yung ating right triangle. And then after getting the, we will get the triangle. Okay. So remember dito ha, wala tayong right triangle dito. This is an oblique triangle case. Then, kung meron tayong missing angle, pwede natin yung ma-solve kung given ka ng dalawang angles. Okay? Kasi, ang assumption natin is that kapag inad natin lahat ng angles sa isang triangle, what you will get is 180 degrees. Right. So, that being said, okay, so let's now have your first practice. Kindly get a screenshot of this first before we proceed to the practice. Okay, so kung tapos na po tayong mag-screenshot, let's have your first practice here. So fire towers A and B are located 10 miles apart. Rangers at fire tower A spot a fire at 42 degrees, and rangers at fire tower B spot the same fire at 64 degrees. So how far from tower A is the fire? So round your answer up to 1 decimal place. So dun po sa mga quiz na gagawin ko and then sa mga exercises, ilalagay ko doon kung hanggang ilang decimal place nyo siya i-round off or kung kailangan nyo ba siyang i-round off to the nearest whole number. Now, in this case, mas madali kung ang gagamitin nyo na letter is ito na, since given na naman siya, meron kang fire towers A and D, so you can use A and D for your letters. And then yung location ng fire, you can use C for that purpose. But anyway, you can, like what I've said, you can use any letter that you want. Okay, so maganda nito is that for you to draw the situation first, try to interpret the problem, and then come up with the triangle na gagamitin nyo sa pagsusolve ng problem. So I'm gonna give you time to work on this one before I show you the proper solution. So para ma-practice din kayo kung paano nyo to dapat gawin. So I'll be back to show you the solution in a while. Okay, so let's check your work. Okay, so first, isulat muna natin yung diagram niya. So, drawing muna natin. So, assuming that this is your point A, and then this is your point B. So, ito yung location of fire towers natin. And sabi dyan, they are 10 miles apart. Okay, so the rangers at fire tower A, so they spot the fire at 42 degrees. So, assuming that point C is where the fire is. So, yung fire doon na na-spot nila, this one is at 42 degrees. And then sa B naman, so they spot the same fire at 64 degrees. So yung line of sight from B to C, so this one is 64 degrees. So tinatanong sa atin is how far from tower A is the fire? So ito yung fire, ito yung A. So we're looking for this distance. So again, kunin muna natin yung ating triangle. So magiging itsura po ng triangle natin would be like this. So this is A, B, this is, let me just change this one. Okay, so this is A, B, and C. So ito po ay 42 degrees. B is 64. So itong opposite side na to, this one will become B, which is the unknown value. And then ito yung side na to will be A. And then ito naman, side na to magiging C kasi opposite siya ng angle C. So this is 10 miles. Yan. So based sa given natin, given ka ng dalawang angle, kaya lang yung isang side ng given natin is hindi siya opposite dun sa dalawang angles yung given natin. So ang gagawin natin, ang magagamit natin dapat na angle is ito, yung angle C. Kasi siya yung katapat ng side na to, which is yung 10 miles. So in this case, since given ka naman ng dalawang angle, we can compute for angle C. So katulad lang ng first example na binigay ko kanina. So we know kasi that A plus B plus C will just be equal to 180 degrees. So therefore, ang C natin is equal to 180 degrees minus the sum of angles A and B. Okay, so this is now 180 minus ang A po natin is 42 degrees plus yung B natin which is 64 degrees. So therefore, this is 180 degrees minus 106. So the value for C now is equal to 74 degrees. So ang C natin ay 74. So now na meron na tayong katapat na angle, we already know that angle, pwede na ngayon tayo mag-solve using the sine law. So if we're looking for side B, ang magiging equation po natin will be like this. So I have B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. So we're solving for B, so that means magko-cross multiply po tayo. So magiging ganito siya. B sine C is equal to C sine B. So to solve for the value of B, divide both sides of the equation by sine C. Yan. So makakancel po yung ating sine C. So therefore, B is C sine B over sine C. So substitute lang po natin yung values. So ang C natin is 10 miles times yung ating sine of B. Ang B po natin is 64 degrees over yung ating sine C, which is sine of 74 degrees. So let me now show you kung paano po ito gagawin sa calculator. Okay, so if we're gonna use your calculator for that, so that will be 64. Then you go to sine, then times 10, press equals, then you have 74, then press nyo yung sine. Okay, so there you go. So you have 9.6 miles. Okay, so if we're going to round this off, so round off natin to 9.6. So this is now 9.6 yan miles. Okay, so ganun lang po yung pagsusolve po natin. So if you got this one correctly, so good job. So kung hindi naman po, kindly get the screenshot, okay, for your reference. So para maaral nyo kung saan tinigkamali. Kasi kung minsan, nag-possible na nagiging cause ng mistake is kapag either nagkamali sa pag-workout doon sa equation, or pwede rin naman doon sa pag-i-input sa calculator. So you have to make sure na very familiar kayo kung paano yung tamang way ng pag-input sa ating calculator. Okay, so kung tapos na po tayong kumuha ng screenshot, let's move on to the next exercise. So two observers are standing on shore half a mile apart at points A and B and measure the angle to a sailboat at point C at the same time. So again, given ka na rito ng letters na gagamitin. So meron kang two observers, yung isa nasa point A and then yung isa is nasa point B. And pareha sila nakikita yung isang sailboat which is at point C. Now sabi dyan, the distance between them is half a mile. Okay, so ito yung word, no? Kapag ito transform natin into a number, half a mile means 1/2 mile. Or kung gagawin natin itong decimal, so remember na naaral natin to before para i-convert yung fraction to decimal. So divide nyo lang numerator by denominator. So this is 1 divided by 2, or this is also equal to 0.5 mile. Yeah. So angle A is 63 degrees and angle B is 56 degrees. So find the distance from each observer to the sailboat and round your answer to 2 decimal places. Now in this case, no, sinabi dyan na we're looking for the distance from each observer. So dahil meron tayong dalawang observer, dapat dalawa rin yung magiging sagot nyo for this problem. Okay, so I'm gonna give you time to work on this one. Then after that, I'm going to show you the proper solution. Okay, so let's check your answers. Okay, so first drawing muna natin siya. So assume natin that this is your point A. This is your point B. So this is the position of the observers. And then ang sabi dyan, they are half a mile apart. So this is 0.5 mile. Okay, so yun yung distance nila. And then at point C, you have a sailboat here. And sabi dyan yung angle A. So that means from A to C. So yung angle na to is equal to 63 degrees. And then yung isa naman yung angle B. So this is from C to B or B to C. So this one is 56 degrees. Okay, so tinatanong is, find the distance from each observer to the sailboat. So we're looking for these two distances. Okay, so kung ito, consider natin yung ating triangle. So basically, it would look like this. So this is your 63. This is 56. This is your A. This is your B. Yung C natin is hindi given, pero given tayo ng side C, which is 0.5 miles. And then itong opposite side na to, ito magiging A. And then itong side na to will become your B. Yan, so we're looking both for A and B. Okay, so katulad din ng case kanina, no, yung ating side na given is hindi opposite dito sa dalawang angle. So kukunin natin tong angle C for us to determine kung anong angle ang gagamitin natin, which is opposite to the 0.5 mile na side. Okay, so to solve for C, so this is 180 degrees minus A plus B. So this is C, that's 180 minus ang A natin is 63. Ang B natin is 56. So this is C is 180 degrees minus 119 degrees. So therefore, C is equal to 61 degrees. So ito po ay 61. Now na meron na tayong value ng C, let's first solve for A. So ang A natin is equal to A over sine A. This is equal to C over sine C. So again, to solve for A, cross-multiply natin siya. So ito magiging A sine C is equal to C sine A. Then to solve for the value of A, divide lang natin both sides of the equation by sine C. Yan. So cancel na yung sine C. Kaya ang A natin is C sine A over sine C. So substitute lang natin yung values natin. So for C, you have 0.5 mile. And then you have sine of A. Ang value ng A natin is 63 degrees. And then meron tayong over sine C. Ang C natin is 0.5 mile. Sorry. This is the angle nga pala. Okay, let me just erase this one. Okay, so for C natin, that is 61 degrees. Yan. Okay. So if we will use your calculator for this one, so let me share with you sa pag-input sa calculator. Okay, so this is 63. Then you have sine times 0.5, press equals, then divided by 61, then press sine again. Yeah, so i-round off natin to. So this one is 0.51. Okay, so this is now 0, A is 0.51 miles. So this is the distance from observer at B to the ship. Now, kung gagawin natin yung sa B, okay, so same scenario. So you have here B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. So to solve for B, cross-multiply natin. So B sine C is equal to C sine B. And then para ma-solve natin ang B, divide natin both sides of the equation by sine C. So para cancel na siya dito. So B therefore is C sine B over sine C. So if we will substitute, meron tayo dito 0.5 miles times sine of B, ang B natin is 56 degrees over sine of angle C, which is 61 degrees. Yan. So kung gagawin po natin to sa ating calculator, so this is 56, then you press sine times 0.5. Oops, sorry. 0.5. Yan. Then press equals and then divided by 61. And then you go to sine. Okay, there you go. So this one is 0.47. Okay, so this is 0.47 miles. Yeah. So therefore, this one is the distance from the observer at A up to the ship. Okay, so yun ang kanilang distances. Okay, so with this, I hope naintindihan nyo kung paano na-solve to. And kindly check po no, kung saang part po kayo ng solution nagkamali, if ever nagkamali man kayo. You can take a screenshot of this one for your review and for your reference. Okay, so kung tapos na po tayo mag-screenshot, let's move on to the next topic. So for our next topic, we'll be discussing about the cosine law. Okay, so ang cosine law, isa rin to sa mga formulas na ginagamit natin for an oblique triangle case. Now, ang cosine law natin, this is given by c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine c. So as you notice, no, para lang din siyang formula for the Pythagorean theorem. Kasi di ba ang Pythagorean theorem, meron kang c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So ang difference lang natin is this one, itong last term natin, which is negative ab cosine c. Now, kailan natin ginagamit ang cosine law? So ang cosine law ginagamit natin only for one case. Ha? Hindi siya katulad ng sine law na meron kang dalawang cases. Ang cosine law ay isa lang. So it is used to solve oblique triangle problems when the lengths of two sides and the angle between them are given. So for instance, ito yung ating triangle, ABC. Okay. Now, ito yung ating side A, side B, and side C. Ang sabi dyan, given ka ng two sides. Okay. So for instance, pwede kang given ng side A and then side C. Now, dapat yung angle na given natin is the angle between them. So, yung angle na yun na nakapagitan sa kanila is this one, angle B. Okay, so that's the first scenario. So, let me give you another one. So another case is, let's say, let's just check my pen here. Okay. So for instance, pwede ka rin dito magkaroon ng, let's say, side A, okay, and then side B, ang given. Now, ano yung angle between them? So yung angle sa pagitan nila is this one, angle C. Yan. Okay, so dito pa ginagamit ang ating cosine law. Okay, so you can imagine na lang na para siyang gunting, di ba? Na ito yung dalawang hands ng scissor mo. Okay, and then ito yung nasa gitna din pinaka-opening. So you can imagine it that way. So para mas madali yung ma-imagine kung kailan ginagamit ang cosine law. Okay, so now let me give you some examples here on how we can use the cosine law to solve oblique triangle problems. Kindly get a screenshot of this one first before I proceed to the problem. So kung tapos na po tayo mag-screenshot, let's move on to our first example. So 3 boats are at sea, Arabia, which is at point A, Barcelona, which is at point B, and Catalan, which is at point C. The crew of A can both see A and B. So the angle between the line of sight to B and the line of sight to C is 45 degrees. If the distance between A and B is 2 miles and the distance between A and C is 4 miles, what is the distance between B and C? Okay, so drawing muna natin siya. So here meron tayong tatlong boat. So let's say this is the first boat A, this is the second boat B, and this is the third boat C. Now yung crew of A, nakikita daw niya parehas yung B and C. So the angle daw between the line of sight to B, so ito, angle between the line of sight to B and the line of sight to C, this one is 45 degrees. Yan. And then, given ka dyan ng the angle between the line of sight to B and the line of sight to C is 45, then if the distance between A and B, so given ka ng A and B rito, which is 2 miles, yan, yun ang distance nila. And then the other one is the distance between A and C. So A and C mo is 4 miles. Okay, so that's the distance. So tinatanong is, what is the distance between B and C? So, ito po yun. So, hinahanap natin itong distance na to. Okay, so if we will take out the triangle, so it would look like this. So, ito yung angle A, angle B, angle C. This is 45 degrees. So, at this side here, nakatapat ng C, this is equal to 2 miles. Let me just erase this part here. Okay, so this is 2 miles. And then ito naman yung side na to na opposite sa angle B. So this is B. So this is 4 miles. So ang hinahanap natin is this side here, which is equivalent to side A. Yan. So yan po ang ating unknown. Now, tingnan natin ang given natin, no? So sa given natin, given ka ng dalawang sides, okay, yung dalawang sides mo, and then you have the angle between them, which is angle A. So therefore, we can use the cosine law. So ang formula natin for the law of cosine, remember the letter can be changed. Okay, so pwedeng kahit anong letter yan, basta mahalaga, alam mo yung format ng pagsusulat niyan. So ang susulat natin dito is this side, so that's squared, and then yung square ng dalawang side, so yung, this case you have b squared plus c squared minus 2, then yung product ng dalawang side, so that's BC, times the cosine of the angle which is opposite to this side na naka-square sa given natin, sa unknown value natin. So this is angle A. Yan. So since ang sinasolve natin is side A, so that means kukunin natin yung square root ng buong expression. So you have b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine A. So if we will now substitute this, okay, so medyo mahaba lang siya. Okay, so for B, meron tayong 4. Then for C, we have 2 squared minus 2 times 4 times 2 times the cosine of A, ang cosine of A natin. So we have A is 45 degrees. Yan. So kung gagawin po natin to sa calculator, so let me just share with you. Okay, so kung i-input po natin to sa calculator, so this is 4 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, press equal first, then minus, then tsaka kayo gagamit ng open close parenthesis. Gagamit kayo ng parenthesis kapag nag-i-input kayo ng very long equation. Okay, so just to be safe. So this is 2 times 4 times 2 times 45, and then click cosine. Then close parenthesis, then press equals. Then tsaka nyo siya kukunin yung square root. So this is now the final answer. So you have 2.94, or in this case, round up ko na lang siya to the nearest whole number. So therefore, the distance between B and C is 3 miles. Okay, so ganyan po yung pagkuha natin ng value. Okay, so again, I'll kindly get a screenshot of this one. So before I proceed to the next example. So the strategy remains the same. No, we will always sketch the diagram first and then draw the triangle. Then after that, based sa triangle, madidetermine nyo na kasi kung ano yung gagamitin natin na formula. Kanina, yung pinakita ko sa inyo is the law of sine. So ang law of sine ginagamit natin kapag meron ka magkatapatan, okay, na angle at saka side. Ang cosine, ginagamit natin kapag meron kang given na dalawang side and yung angle na nasa pagitan nila. So that's the way for you to find out whether kung ang gagamitin mo ba is the law of sine or the law of cosine. Okay, so let's have the next example. Kung tapos na po kayo mag-screenshot for this. Now, a zip line is constructed across a valley as shown in the diagram. So what is the width of the valley? Okay, so meron ka ritong drawing na. Okay, so hindi na masyadong effort kung paano mo i-figure out yung triangle. So kung gagawin natin to, lalagyan ko na lang siya ng symbol. So ito, if this is W, which represents the width, so I will just use here capital W for this angle na 102. Since opposite naman ito nung side ko na W. And then I will just assume this to be my point A, and then this is my point B. So if this is my angle B, therefore this side here, yung 25 feet will be my side B. And for this part naman here na opposite sa angle A, so itong 84 feet will become my side A. Okay, so since we're looking for the width of the valley, Okay, so ang given natin ay, again, you have here your two sides and the angle between them. So pwede tayong gumamit ng cosine law. So ang formula natin will be W squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times cosine W. So to solve for W, again, you just have to get the square root of everything. So that's A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times cosine W. So kung isa-substitute po natin to, this will become, ang A po natin is 84, so square, plus yung B natin, that's 25 squared, minus 2 times 84 times 25 times the cosine of 102 degrees. Yan. Now, kung i-input po natin to sa calculator, so let me show that to you. Okay, so this is 84 squared plus 25 squared. Press mo na equals. And then minus, open parenthesis. So I have 2 times 84 times 25 times ito, 102. And then go to trigonometry, press cosine. Yan. And then close parenthesis, press equals. And then get the square root. So this one is equivalent to 92. So kung i-round off natin to, this is equal to 92 feet. And so W is 92 feet. So therefore, this is the width of the valley. Yeah. Okay. So kindly get a screenshot of this one for your reference. So again, kung may mga further questions po kayo, you can send me a PM directly via Facebook. And then get a screenshot ng tinatanong niyo para mas madali ako makarespond sa questions niyo. Okay, so if we're done with this, let's have your first exercise, the first practice for this case. So during a figure skating routine, Jackie and Peter skate apart with an angle of 15 degrees between them. Jackie skates for 5 meters and Peter skates for 7 meters. How far apart are the skaters? So kindly figure out first on your own how will you be doing this, and then after that, I'm going to show you the solution. Okay, so kung tapos na kayo magsagot, so let's check your answers. Okay, so good drawing natin to, no? So meron tayong dalawang figure skater. So let's have that at point J and point P. Okay, so assuming natin na itong si J, if the point J is where Jackie is and point P is where Peter is. So if they started from the same line here, okay, so let's assume that this one is your point C. Now, nag-separate sila. Okay, so yung sabi dito, they skated apart for 15 degrees. And then Jackie skates for 5 meters, while Peter skates for 7 meters. So tinatanong is, how far apart are they? Yan. So yan po yung ating triangle. So based dito sa triangle natin, as you can see, pwede natin i-assume, no, na itong 7 meters is opposite siya ng angle J. So this is your side J. And then for this one, yung 5 meters, ito magiging side P kasi opposite siya ng angle P. So we're looking here for side C. Okay, so if based dito sa diagram natin, meron kang dalawang sides and yung angle between them. So therefore, we can use the law of cosines or the cosine law. So now we have C squared is equal to J squared plus P squared minus 2JP times cosine of C. So to solve for C, so this is the square root of J squared plus P squared minus 2JP cosine C. So kung sa-substitute po natin yung ating values, so J is 7, so squared, plus yung P natin is 5 squared, minus 2 times 7 times 5 times the cosine of C, which is 15 degrees. Okay. So now let's try to input this on your calculator. Okay, so kung input natin yun sa calculator, this is now 7 squared plus 5 squared, press equals, and then minus, open parenthesis, you have 2 times 7 times 5 times 15, and then the cosine of that, then close parenthesis. Then press equals. Yan. And then kunin natin yung square root. Okay, so there you go. So you have 2.5. So when round off natin to the nearest whole number, okay, so that will be equal to 3 meters. Yeah, so ni-round off ko na lang po. Okay, there you go. So if you got 3 meters, very good. So if not, kindly check kung tama yung illustration nyo or kung tama yung pagkaka-input nyo sa calculator and sa formula nyo as well. Okay, so kindly get a screenshot of this before we proceed to the next practice. Okay, so when you're done, let's have the next practice. So a bridge is supported by triangular braces. If the sides of each brace have length 63 feet, 46 feet, and 40 feet, find the measure of the angle opposite the 46-foot side. Okay, so ang medyo kakaiba lang dito, no, this time mga hanapin nyo na is the angle. Okay, so hanapin nyo yung angle na ano, which is opposite to the 46-foot na side natin. Okay, so di ba, meron tayong 3 sides, meron tayong 63, 46, and 40. Yung katapat daw na angle nitong 46, ano yung value na yun? Okay, so this one would require you to do transformation of equation. So kailangan yung i-derive yung equation mismo sa pagkuha ng angle na tinatanong sa problem. So I'm gonna give you time first to work on this one on your own, and then after that, I'm going to show you the solution. Okay, so tapos na tayo mag-solve. So let's have the solution to this one. So i-drawing natin to. So your triangle basically looks like this. So this could be your 63 feet. This is your 46 feet. And this is your 40 feet. Okay, so kung assume natin na this is your A, B, and C. So therefore this is B, this is A, and this is C. Now, ang tinatanong sa atin is yung measure ng angle opposite the 46-foot side. So, ito is yung 46 na foot na side. So, yung opposite po niyan, yan. So, that means we're looking for angle A. Okay, so to solve for this one, given tayo ng dalawang angles. Okay, so, given tayo ng dalawang side dito. And then, meron tayo dito angle between them. Okay, so, pwede tayong gumamit ng Cosine Law. Okay, so kung gagawin natin yung formula, that is equal to A squared. So that's equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine of angle A. Yan. Now, ang sinusolve po natin is angle A. So, ang kailangan po natin gawin is i-transpose natin itong B squared tsaka C squared sa left side. So, this is A squared minus B squared minus C squared. So this is now equal to negative 2BC cosine of A. Now to solve for the value of A, angle A, so divide muna natin both sides of the equation by negative 2BC. Yan, so para makancel po yan dito. So therefore, ang ating cosine A is equal to A squared minus B squared minus C squared over negative 2BC. So to solve for the value of A, so, gagamit po tayo ng inverse cosine. Okay, and then, itong buong term na to. So, A squared minus B squared minus C squared over negative 2BC. So, medyo mahaba lang. Now, kung isa-substitute natin yan, ganito magiging itsura niyan. So, this is inverse cosine of, okay, so ang A po natin is 46 squared minus yung ating B, so that's 63 squared minus yung C natin is 40 squared. And then, i-divide natin to by negative 2 times yung B natin. So, that's 63 times yung C, which is 40. Yan. Now, paano po natin to input sa calculator? Okay, so, let me show you how to do this on your calculator. Okay, so this is now 46 squared minus 63 squared minus 40 squared. Press equal first and then divided by, then open parenthesis. So we have here negative 2 times 63 times 40. Then close parenthesis. Press equals. Okay, then after this, kunin nyo po yung sa second function nyo and then inverse cosine. There you go. So, i-round off natin to the nearest whole number. So, this one is 47 degrees. And so, ito po yung value ng ating A. And 47 degrees, therefore, is the measure of the angle opposite to the 46 foot na side natin. Okay, so this basically ends our discussion on oblique triangle problems. So, remember that for, for next week, hindi na po ako mag-live class, but I will just be giving you an opportunity to catch up with your missing activities. And also, I will be giving you the exercises and the quizzes for the right triangle case and for the oblique triangle case. So, kindly wait for my announcements na lang sa GC for more details on that. Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching this recording of the live class. So, this is not an actual live class. This is a separate recording. Unfortunately, hindi agad ako nakapag-live class. So, yung discussion ko naman dito is basically the same as what I did in the live class. Okay, so again, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in January na. Because January will be the resumption of our classes. So, bye everyone and God bless you all.